Good morning, everyone. Today is April the 19th, 2021. This is StockCast, your pre-market show. My name is James Mason. With me is Todd Derby. Todd, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
I am doing well. So, you know what they say. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. It's a beautiful day. As Todd, I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you.
All right.
All right. Man. We thought that starting up an hour later would give us more news. Has it done crap?
Not true. Not true.
All right. So Dow futures are currently down minus 60 points. S&P 500 down 9 3/4 points. And volume is low. Like I said last week, we're now entering the spring and summer season of the year, and that means low volume. It will be that way probably until August, somewhere around there, and then it will just, out of nowhere, start kicking back up. And that is due to people, the elites, big money, going on vacation, enjoying their lives, and whatever it is that elitists do.
I also think it has something to do with the crypto, because crypto seems to be bigger news today than it was a year ago, 2 years ago. And I mean, I know people who know nothing about day trading, investing, and they're bragging about how they have a $500 crypto account that's worth $800 now. I mean, it's crazy. So,
hey, like that story I told you about when I was getting a vasectomy, and my doctor, he was talking to me about crypto trading, and I knew at that point,
exactly,
this is not the market to trade. If you're literally in the middle of a surgery and your doctor's talking to you about trading Bitcoin, oh boy, it is going to get volatile.
I would agree.
So today, coming out the gates, this is going to be a lesson. Let's just get into it. This is APOP. So last month, I was hardcore bullish on this ticker, and we see that pre-market had a pre-market run. When I say actually not a run, a spike, and then just died off. Well, if you guys remember correctly, the news that I was waiting on this top line data to be released. It was released today. Here it is. You can read it while I talk to you, but the gist of it is they released this top line data news. You know, it was basically to be expected. All the news was. So no big deal there. But we see how it popped and then just got hammered. And everybody asked me back here when we was in this, and then it popped off of merger news, why did I get out when I was waiting on that data? And I kept telling everybody, you take opportunity when you have opportunity. And this is the reason why. Let's look back on this on the daily chart. There's this theory I have that when something gets so beat down and then it's going sideways and it's a low float and it just gets coiled up, that when any news releases, it just pops. Now, it has to be a while before the last previous news has released, and it can't have done like a bullish run or anything like that. But like before this pop right here, we had this extended period of time where it was just going sideways, and we was in it. And it worked out for us, the ones who took their money and ran. But today, that news that we were waiting on originally, again, we wasn't waiting on that merger news. That just happened. Now, had this top line data news took place instead of that merger news, I feel confident that APOP would have done the same thing back here. But everybody back here done took their money and ran. So there's not as many shares bought up on the market to cause this thing to squeeze up and actually run. And I feel like that's what is happening today in APOP. That news, that's the news that everyone was waiting on. And it just didn't do anything. So this is why I always take profit, take opportunity when I can't talk today. This is why I always take opportunity when I have opportunity. So just keep that in mind, everyone. I usually, when I rock a trade out like this, I usually won't enter into it again. It's just some rule that I have over the years. And once again, it worked out in this case. I made my money here. I moved on. So that's why I wanted to show y'all with this ticker right here, APOP. Finally get that news. But since everybody already took their money and ran a couple weeks ago, there was no one here stacking up shares for this to really squeeze up and run. And this is what happens. So if you were in it today, I hope you were able to get out with any profit. Just don't end up being a bag holder. All right. Todd, do we have anything else for today?
Yeah, got a couple here. Let's talk about a couple members have brought up a couple questions. It's helpful when you guys put in the ticker, what you're looking for. Are you long? Are you short? Are you thinking about entering it? Are you thinking about trying to get out of it? Give us a little feedback because it helps us answer the question. Look at ticker CNSP. Charlie, Nancy, Sam, Peter.
Stand by a moment. All right. Last update for short interest, 378,000 shares being shorted, 2.5% of the float, so nothing much there. Shares outstanding, 23.8 million shares of the float, 15.2. Just looking at the news off the top, it does look like they have some catalysts in the works. I'm not sure how far down the pipeline, but let's look at this 1 year, 1 day chart. So immediately, like when I look at this 1 year, 1 day chart, for how I trade, I personally don't like it. And the reason why is I don't really have that much data. You can see this thing, I'm sure it's probably like reverse split or reverse merger or something like that. I don't know. It could have been IPO back here, but it really hasn't been on the market for a while. And it came out just, it's kind of all over the place. It hasn't been beaten down. It really hasn't been consistent overall. But with the data that I do have, let me draw support for y'all. We have support there. And we have support here. So it is currently sitting on a support. And let's see, for breakout, we need to see it get above. Actually, we need to see it get above these highs. All right. So pre-market is currently sitting at $2.20. It's sitting on a support overall in the daily chart, right around $2. And for its next potential breakout range, it needs to get back above 325. If it gets above 325, then we're probably going to just test all these highs. Since these highs are not really that high and it hasn't really been out in the market too much, it potentially could, depending on the catalyst and news and whatnot, potentially could come up here and create new highs above $6. And really, we'll just have to see what it's going to do. Again, there's not too much data here on this daily chart for me. And it's not really my setup for these low floats, how I like to trade. So that's why I'm kind of like sounding a little negative about it. But I mean, it does have something to work with, at least with all this news that's coming in. But yeah, that's what I see about it. Not much more than that.
This one should be a little more. Let's look at another one then. Here's one that's CLOV, CLOV.
Okay, so this one already off the top. All of the Wall Street Bets people, they think that they know how to understand short interest data, and they don't. You'll see it on StockTwits and all these other like Wall Street Bets forums, all these little silly websites that are claiming to update everybody on the short interest data for today. That's not how any of this works. Short interest data is only reported by the exchanges every 2 weeks, and then it's released. Not any sooner. There's no way to know it. There's no way to figure it out. I've literally had conversations with actual brokers who are working the floors of Wall Street, Bloomberg, of all people, especially when I was doing my Bloomberg terminal training. We was talking about it. There's just no way to get that information any sooner. So all of these retail traders, newer traders, are going off these stupid little websites that are claiming that they're figuring out the short interest data for these tickers, and they're misleading everybody astray. What they're really doing is just going off of, was it a red day, a green day, and by the share difference, honestly, of buys and sells. That's it. That has nothing to do with short interest. So the last update for the short interest information, shares being shorted, 38.5 million shares. 35.8% of the float is being shorted. Days to cover, 2.3. Now that is a decent amount. But all these little websites, Wall Street Bets, whatnot, they're claiming like 140%. That's not true. So looking at the outstanding shares, 145.3 million shares of the float, 107.5 million shares. And let's see if we have any catalysts off the top. I see a couple filings and whatnot. Not sure about catalysts though. Now this is one that I haven't traded, so I don't know too much about it. But looking at this thing, we can obviously see this massive run up here, and then it just gets hammered down. And here we are. Overall, this thing doesn't have a lot of long-term data to really make a great assessment on its little ranges for breaking out. So what I would need to see is this thing getting back above this $10.26 range, which will be right above that break right here of that whole cup and handle thing. And it'll probably just kind of teeter around right here, and who knows what. The setup overall is not good. What's that, Todd?
It's going to get up in that range, and it's going to get hammered short again.
Yeah, there's a good chance. Yeah. I mean, you got to look at all this selling right here. You got to think about all these bag holders right here. This thing starts coming up, breaking above 10. You have people who are just going to be begging for mercy to get out. And they will. They'll take a loss to get out because the loss up here is better than the loss down here. And they'll be like possums eating crap out of a dumpster in the middle of the night. I mean, that's how happy they'll be just to take that loss up here. And then the Bears are going to come in and just beat it down and help everything. I guess really what I'm trying to say overall is this is just a meme stock. Don't get caught up in it. The chances of these groups trying to pull off another GameStop are going to be slim to none. I'm going to just be real.
The only way they're going to pull off another GameStop is if they do it quietly without the media or without the news talking about it at that time. They've got to do it, and it's got to sneak up on people where it's too late. But
now all these hedge firms, they're watching the groups. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've made an alert and people would be able to trade it, and then next thing you know, E-Trade restricts it. And it's not like everybody is jumping in on this trade. It's just these like, not lower floats. For instance, APOP was one. a lot of people had issues with getting shares there through Fidelity and E-Trade. And what they're doing is they have things that can measure the sentiment or the chatter for these tickers online. And when these tickers go from not being talked about to being talked about, they'll start positioning themselves to one, either A, not lose, or B, not lose. It's going to be a long time before they get caught with their pants down like how they did with GameStop.
Agreed.
And that's why I said it's going to be next to near impossible to pull off another GameStop for a long time. And whenever that happens again, it's not going to be the same situation. So don't get caught up in this hype with CLOV or any of these meme stocks. These people talking about how they're going to create squeezes based off of whatever made up short interest or even the real short interest. It's too hard. There's so many things that come into play to make all these firms cover on their trade. And I don't know. I mean, really, it's just not going to happen again. I hate to say it. It's just not going to happen again. So I know that doesn't probably give you the answer that you want, but just be careful. Have an exit plan here in this ticker. Again, this is a meme stock. Just like SOS. I mean, I haven't looked at SOS in a while, but everybody was trying to pump that one, and we laughed at them. And it's just been killed. Like, SOS had its run. It's probably not going to do it again for a long time. The same thing here with Clover Health. It is what it is. If you can find an exit to be profitable, I would move my stop up. So that is what I have for CLOV.
Take a look at CFRX. Charlie Foxtrot Romeo X-Ray. They're asking, is there a catalyst coming up on this ticker? We did an offering back on March 18th, which got the stock down.
It's in March 18th. Hold on, let me try to find that one. Okay. Do you see any pricing on that offering?
$5. Yeah, the goal was that it was offering at $5. They're trying to raise $50 million of cash for a phase 3 developmental program, license application, and then some operating cash, working capital, and general corporate purposes. General corporate purposes, bonuses, yachts, Ferraris.
All right. Okay. So I found it right here. All right. Okay, so there's the offering. As for catalysts, looking off the top, hold on a second. So March 12th, they won a federal contract of $86.8 million. But I don't know what for. So if they're winning contracts, there has to be a catalyst somewhere in the mix, and it will just take a while for me to actually look it up. But last update on short interest, 4.5 million shares being shorted, 19.5% in the float, days of cover 4.3. Shares outstanding, 39.3 million, float 23.2 million. All right, so I like this longer term setup. So you can see back here how it went sideways for a while, and then we had a nice spike, and then came back down, going sideways for a while. So this thing is, we did move up a little bit right here, but that's basically just off of that whole contract news. So depending on what this catalyst stuff is coming into play, this thing looks like it will start tightening up somewhere going into the future. Just looking at the charts and how I play these and what to expect, I'd expect this thing to go sideways or actually lose it a little bit more on probably another few weeks, maybe a month or so. And then that's when it will probably have another spike up. But let me just draw some trend lines for y'all.
Noxious, I see where they did a split back in February of 2020. It was a 1-for-10 split. Tyler, that's what he's saying right now, is that this is probably at best case scenario, a watch on the watch list, but not a buy and hold yet.
All right. So like Todd was saying, there's a split happened back here. And that was on February the 4th. So the high on that day was 845. It's currently going for 402 right now. So obviously when looking at this and basing off the support and resistances, we won't have any bullish momentum until it breaks above $5.30. But for a more cleaner breakout, breaking above $8. What I hate about that is seeing the shift in direction happens at $5.30, but the cleaner breakout happens at $8. We're talking $2.70 difference.
It's a big jump.
Yeah. And at that clean break at $8, realistically, you probably just have a range up to about 10 before you start getting hammered down. Man, right now it just kind of sucks overall for technicals. Unless if you're literally okay with just like making small entries right now and then averaging in over the next month or so and expecting it to just keep going down. I mean, there's a good chance that it will come back up and just kind of dance around and play between this $4.30 range up to about $5.30. But nothing's guaranteed here. So if I was going to play this one, first thing I'd have to actually understand is what is the catalyst? And it has to be a true catalyst. I'd have to find as many catalysts as possible here. I like the share structure. I like the overall pattern that it is created. So I'm all right. I'm good there. I need to find the overall catalyst, what all is going on with this company. And then if I was going to play this, I would slowly start scaling in. And what I mean by scaling in, taking small positions and expect to be red for the next month or so until something happened and it just shot up. Now, when this thing shoots up, it's probably going to do something. Let me see. Probably going to do something like this, where it goes from like right here to opening up right here. It's going to do a gap up, more likely. Have a single day run, probably just a pre-market run, and then get hammered afterwards. That's just the reality here. So that's how I'd handle this. I would slowly scale in over time, expecting to be red after I understood the catalyst and if the catalyst made sense to me. And I just wouldn't get in over my head, because this thing potentially could just keep going down here, could go down to 275 and create a new low. Now, if it breaks below 275, it's probably going to get pretty bad. I mean, it's going to create all kind of new lows and just going to be painful. So this one, yeah, if I was going to try to force something and start squeezing in right now, I'd slowly scale in. I'd expect it to be red for weeks, and whenever it shot up to make me profitable, that's when I would take it and then leave. The setup in this moment is not here for me yet. So if you're not in it, I would hold off. That is what I see for ticker CFRX.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Get the day started. Get the week started. As always, be safe, be smart, happy trading. And it looks like we're in another slow grind today.
Absolutely. So everyone, we have a lot of different macro events taking place once again. Keep that in mind. And remember, when you are in profit, move those stop losses up. It's okay to stop out in profit, because the moment you try to swing for a grand slam home run and you think everything is going to go the way that it should for you, will be the moment that you let go of all of your profits and bag a loser. So everyone, trade safe. Don't start the week off too bad, and we will see y'all tomorrow.